Let's chat now to Yuriy. He is an advisor to Ukraine's defence minister and joins us on the line. Mr. Sak, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much indeed for your time this morning, for joining us. I know you've spoken to the defence minister in the past few hours. Can you please just give us the latest situation on that steel plant in Mariupol? What's happening there?
Well, the situation on the steel plant Azovstal is extremely difficult, and this has been reported during the last 24 hours. The difference between what is happening now and what used to happen until now is that in addition to the heavy bombardment of Azovstal and to missile strikes, at the moment Russian occupiers are trying to launch a ground offensive, and Ukrainian defenders of Azovstal are defending Azovstal, and they're repelling these attacks. But the situation is extremely difficult.
Russia has said that there's going to be a ceasefire, that there are going to be humanitarian avenues for people to get to safety. Do you trust them?
Well, indeed, Ukraine's President, Mr. Zelensky, has spoken yesterday to the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, and he asked him to facilitate the establishment of evacuation corridors, and Russia has said that they will allow evacuation corridors on the 5th and 6th and 7th of May.
And do you trust them?
We are hopeful. We are hopeful. We're quietly optimistic, but of course we have, bad experiences with Russia not honoring their commitment. But, considering that this concerns the evacuation of civilians and wounded, we hope that they will this time honor their commitments.
What is your assessment? What is your assessment of how big a moment the fall of Mariupol is in this conflict? I mean, there are a lot of analysts around the world, a lot of people outside of Ukraine who say that it is a huge strategic blow for Ukraine because of its of just how crucial a city it is. What's your sense of how big a moment Mariupol, being so under siege, how big a moment that is within this conflict?
Well, we often say that Mariupol, during the last 70 days now, Mariupol has become the heart of this war, of this aggressive war. And of course, Russian occupiers have been trying to attack Mariupol for a long time because they are trying to establish full control over the southern part of Ukraine. And for them, it is important to cut Ukraine off the Black Sea. But the defenders of Azovstal and defenders of Mariupol have been successfully defending for now 70 days, and we hope that they will continue to heroically protect Azovstal. And of course, the focus at the moment is on the evacuation of the civilians who are still trapped there, and there have been casualties even in the last couple of days. So from this perspective, this is the priority number one for Ukraine's political and military leadership.
Of course, you say it's priority number one. You've obviously got this huge battle in the Donbass region. The BBC has been reporting even just this morning about the Russian missile strikes that have been going on across the country because Moscow is trying to prevent fresh supplies of weaponry and equipment reaching Ukraine's troops. What is your assessment, your honest assessment, please, of the latest situation in the Donbass region?
Well, the latest situation in the Donbass region has been systemically very intense, and the fighting is very heavy. But if you look at the map of the military activities during the last 2 weeks, Russians have continued to attack, but Ukrainian armed forces have continued to defend, and Russians have not been able to secure any significant gains. And moreover, in some areas, Ukrainian armed forces have been able even to counterattack and to regain control. But of course, everything depends in the future on how quickly Ukraine will be able to receive the requested heavy weaponry, because this will be a decisive factor in this battle.
And are you getting that weaponry as quickly as you need it?
everything we get goes straight to the battlefield, and of course we insist that we need more, because to be more efficient in repelling the attacks and counter-attacking, we need more heavy weaponry, of course.
Mr. Sak, Yuriy Sak, advisor to Ukraine's defence minister, thank you very much indeed for joining us.